Another early day in the Camaro. I cannot wait for break-in to be done. The amount of self-control that I am exerting right now to not open this car up on this wide open road. The fact that I'm going 81 and it feels like I'm going 50 is crazy. By now the BRZ or the WRX would have been like, ah! So we're almost there. We are 14 minutes away. I left my wallet at home, so that's not great, but. So it's another early day for Kendra and I. I am in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. I'm at the window tinters. If you don't know the window tinters, they tinted my BRZ. Lewis was one of my coworkers originally from Staten Island, and even before that, he was the first person to tint the WRX. And he did well enough to open up an entirely new operation here in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Bigger shop, better space, etc. Now, I got up at the ass crack of dawn to avoid all the traffic and whatnot. And it's supposed to rain later, so hopefully this whole process should be done by noon. The PPF looks great. This is why you get PPF for instances like this. I'm very, very excited to be done laying the groundwork for the car. Everything I've done since getting the car has essentially been laying the groundwork. PPF, testing out the vinyl accent. And now with the tints and the windshield protection, it's all about getting the car to a nice, protected starting point. It's been fast in that I didn't expect to. After I bought the car, I expected to be able to recover my finances a little bit, but with the weather getting warmer soon and me wanting to drive this car, because this car makes you want to drive. This car is a driver's car. I wanted to protect it and be able to get out there. So I spent a lot on the PPF already. I'll be spending a good amount on the tints and the windshield protection, which means I kind of have to push back things like a front lip, side skirts, etc. But the important thing is we're laying a solid foundation for getting this car where I want it to be. All right, the time has come to go bring Kendra into the tint booth. All right. So I think we're gonna do 5 on the sides and then 30 on the windshield. I learned, dude, I'm never doing 15 again.
Never has made that shit.
Hey guys, Lewis from the Window Tinters here. We are getting the film weeded out for Kyle's new Camaro. We cut everything here out of our GraphTech FC9000, so that way we get perfect templates every time. This car in particular has frameless windows, so we extended our patterns. That way we're gonna leave it over the edge and then shave it for a factory finish. The reason why I cut 1,000,000 corner windows is because wherever there's extra space that would have normally been dead space, yeah, next Camaro comes in, I'll have 1,000,000 corner windows.
My tax return just hit double of
You can't afford all these corner windows, Kyle. The worst thing in the world is when you don't cut extra corner windows, and that's the window that gets messed up, and then you have to waste a whole big piece just cutting out a little corner window. We always take our film and lay it on the outside first.
I've seen enough TikToks to know how this goes down, and you do a little heat gun and you push the fingers down.
That's right. Or if you want to look really fancy on social media, you could use a blowtorch, but we're going to skip that. Really what it comes down to is film is flat, the glass is not, so we're going to make it so that the film is no longer flat.
Lewis, how long have you been tinting?
14 years now, actually. It's October will be about 15 years of me laying film.
Oh, dude, you got reach. You're in there.
I'm a Chevy Camaro.
Start a business, they said.
It'll be fun, they said. No one actually has ever told me that. Everyone was like, don't do that. What are you insane?
You want me to spray you with some soapy water so you're lubed up and you can get out of there?
This is the new self-squeeging tint If these bubbles don't go away in 7 to 8 years, you bring it right back and we replace it.
I mean, honestly, the louvers are gonna cover it up anyway, so.
You're right. Why am I even trying so hard?
I don't know why you worked so hard to squeeze yourself back there.
Should've just tinted the outside.
That's what you get for taking pride in your work.
Damn it.
Just want to get a Lewis cam. How is it in here? Oh yeah, see that's
having a blast.
That's not ideal. I could fully see you being like, no, we don't do Camaro rear windshield, sorry bud.
The rest of the car's normal price. This windshield is $10,000.
Dude, you're like surprisingly flexible. Anyone ever tell you that? Now, a question I see a lot on like tint videos is, do blades cut glass and do files damage glass?
They absolutely can. Technically speaking, typically as long as you're using a stainless steel blade, it shouldn't scratch. But with the way quality has just gone way downhill on things like glass over the past decade or two, now, yes, you can easily scratch the glass.
So glass is just generally softer?
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, back in the good old days, we used to hand cut on the,
yeah,
the glass
I remember
all the time. But I'll either go very light pressure, or if it's one where I really know I gotta be careful with, I got something for everything. I know I use this. This is called Glass Aid Plus. This goes on around the edges, and then you cut on top of this instead of on top of it.
Like a little guard.
Shout out to 44tools.com. You can get all your window tinting tools at 44tools.com and use promo code TWT24 for 10% off.
Dude, really plugging stuff on my video. All right, so as of now, all the windows are tinted, and Lewis just filed the windows so you could see how perfect the edges are. And do you plotter cut the windshield skin?
No.
No, so that's hand cut on the car. Now that the full car is tinted, the last step, and often overlooked when protecting the front end of a car, is the thing you look through, is the windshield.
If you're getting your nose done, but not your windshield, you're not actually protecting your full nose. Halfway.
Wow, this is almost exactly like PPF. So now, why can't you just put PPF on a windshield?
The adhesive works a little bit differently, so that way it can still be optically clear for you.
So it is, the windshield is a structural thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A little known fact is when you replace a windshield, we already know it's a pain in the butt, right? You lose your car for the day, you gotta risk guys scratching up your paint and everything around your edges if they're not doing a good job. But another thing is, this is part of the structural integrity of your vehicle. When you remove this and put in something new, it's just like replacing something else major on your car. It's never gonna quite be the same again.
So yeah, if it's in your budget and you really want to protect your car and you're OCD like me and you don't want anything scratching up your dash or anything, it might be better to just spend a little bit more money and get the windshield PPF. Especially if you're doing the whole car, you might as well be able to drive confidently.
If you're gonna protect your nose, it's almost a no-brainer to just spend a little bit more and complete it with the windshield protection.
If it's one thing I learned is that rocks will find where you don't protect. That's the first spot they will hit.
That's a fact. Yeah. These rocks are getting more devious.
And then another benefit of this windshield PPF is it is hydrophobic, which means less use of the wipers, which is good. Because if you use the wipers, it kind of etches in over time. But look at that, look at the beading. Wow. So Lewis actually spotted an imperfection, and because he's got an eye for it and his standards are way up high, which is why I come here, he's actually gonna go ahead. And he cut out 20, so it's a good thing. But
no, I just really didn't want to be left with 26 Camaro corner windows laying around. So figured I'd use one.
There's not enough Camaros out there. So now what do you look for when you're doing your inspection?
You're always looking for something that looks white, I guess you could say is the easiest way, because that could be water, that could be, you know, soap, but also imperfections typically will look like a white dot, especially once it has that black background. So, you know, sometimes you don't see something right away, and that's why we not only double check in here, but then we also triple check once it's outside underneath the actual outside daylight too one last time. And then as long as there's nothing grabbing your eye at that point, you're typically good to go.
See, and attention to detail like that is why I recommend you find a good shop, you stick with them. If they travel, I think I draw the line at like Florida-ish. Then you can't keep going more south.
Damn it.
You gotta relax. This is a long trip for me, but it's well worth it because I know that he cares about his work and he stands behind it. So he didn't have to redo that corner window, but he did it, you know, and that's why he's invited to my birthday party.
Yes.
And no, the car looks so good. Wow. That looks so good.